The ear is the placement of one of the five senses within the human body, which is hearing. As Walker states, the auditory system is the body system that allows mechanical processing and recognition of words. The ear is sectioned into three components: the outer, middle, and inner ear, as labelled on the picture. According to Memler, the outer ear includes the outer projection of the canal, while the middle ear is the air space containing three small bones. Lastly, the inner ear is the most complex because it contains the sensory receptors for hearing and equilibrium. Within the outer or external ear, the prominent part of the ear is also known as the pinna, which is commonly referred to as the ear in general. The purpose of the pinna is to direct sound into the ear. Following this is the meatus, which is a canal. This is where cerumen or wax is produced. At the end of the canal is the tympanic membrane or eardrum, which has the purpose of being the boundary between the external auditory ear canal and the middle ear cavity. It vibrates freely as sound waves enter the ear. Now onto the middle ear cavity, which is, according to Memler, a small and flattened space containing air and three small bones. Finally, the inner or internal ear consists of three separate spaces within this section. This is called the bony labyrinth, the cochlea, the semicircular canals, and the perilymph. These sections are paramount to the effectiveness of the sound vibrations to create the sound that we hear, that create the fifth sense, which is hearing. The video will now visually show us through the ear and recap over the information we just talked about.
As sound waves enter the ear, they travel through the outer ear, through the external auditory canal, and strike the eardrum, causing it to vibrate. The central part of the eardrum is connected to a small bone of the middle ear, called the malleus, or hammer. As the malleus vibrates, it transmits the sound vibrations to the other two small bones, or ossicles, of the middle ear, the incus and stapes. As the stapes moves, it pushes a structure called the oval window in and out. This action is passed on to the cochlea, which is a fluid-filled snail-like structure that contains the receptor organ for hearing.
There can be disorders of the ear, including the infection of the middle ear cavity, which is referred to as otitis media, or commonly referred to as glue ear. As Walker states, otitis media occurs when the tubes within the ear become blocked with fluid, which is commonly pus or mucus. Disorders within the ear is more prominent in children, as their tubes within their ears are shorter and horizontal, while adults are longer and tends to slant downwards. Antibiotic drugs have reduced complications and have caused a marked reduction in the amount of surgery done to drain the middle ear infection. Another disorder of the ear can result in loss of hearing. This can be partial or complete loss. In cases of complete loss of hearing, it is then called deafness. An electronic hearing aid is a small device placed in or around the ear to improve the hearing of those with hearing impairments. The basic components of a hearing aid are a microphone, signal conditioning, a receiver, which is also known as a speaker, and a battery. The microphone converts the sound into an electric signal. The signal then undergoes conditioning that can be simple as amplifying all the sound equally to more advanced equalization involving a digital signal processor. The receiver converts the electronic signal back to sound, and the battery powers the electronics. There are various aids used to assist individuals with their hearing, which are in the ear, in the canal, completely in the canal, and behind the ear. These aids can be used for all types of hearing loss, from mild to the profoundly lost. There are two main types of hearing, which is determined by what part of the auditory system is damaged, and they are conductive hearing loss and sensory neural hearing loss.